It's a classic Ella versus Jenna episode.
A battle.
A battle of the wits and the minds. I can't wait.
Welcome to Red Wine Reads, a community of book lovers talking about our favorite and not so favorite books while pouring a glass or two of wine. I'm your host, Jenna Weston, and with me today is Ella Kopakin. Now, before we start, I should warn you that we do spoil the endings of the books we review, so if you don't like that, then please go finish the book and come right back to this episode, or find an episode where you have read the book and you don't mind the spoilers. Here's what you can expect from every episode. We start with a super short 60-second summary, we will get some quick facts to get you oriented, and then we will answer the question, would you recommend this book? It's a simple yes or no, and then we will spend the majority of the episode arguing why or why not we would recommend this book. Sometimes we end up on the same side of this argument, sometimes we end up on opposite sides of this argument, like we did today. But we will end the show with final ratings out of 5 and pairings where we pick drinks, TV shows, movies, and other books that might pair well with today's read. Each episode also hosts its own drinking game, so whatever your drink of choice, wine, cocktails, mocktails, coffee, water, we hope that you'll sip along with us. Today we are talking about Bunny by Mona Awad. Now this is the second Mona Awad book that we have discussed on this podcast. It feels like a dark, kind of weird book, and I think that Ella would like it, but as we started discussing, I was proven wrong. As most oftentimes I am. So this led to a very interesting discussion about the book, about the ending, of how we interpreted everything. Now we may be totally wrong in our interpretations, but would love to hear your thoughts, and so please find us on Instagram and TikTok and let us know what you thought of the ending and what you thought of the book overall, because it seems to be a very divisive book. So without further ado, let's pull some corks and get reading. Again, this week we read Bunny by Mona Awad. Well, welcome to a very special episode.
Yes, and one that we really tried to record this podcast a few times.
Yeah, it feels like the universe is just like, how about let's not?
How about let's not do the bunny episode? But we're doing it, so in a way we won.
We're here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, we're talking about Bunny by Mona Awad today. Are you drinking anything?
You know, I drank a lot of champagne over the past couple of days, so I'm sticking to water today.
Yeah, same here. I feel like it's just been day after day after day after day. So we're it's a water drinking episode. I don't think we need to have any drinking game rules for this one. It's just going to be a weird one.
How about drinking
general
game every time we mention what's under the gloves?
Oh, what's under the gloves? Misshapen hands.
Yeah.
Yes, that's good. Or anytime we call each other Bunny.
Yeah, true. Oh my god, how did we not start this podcast by going, hey Bunny!
Hi, Bunny!
Hi, Bunny!
I know. Oh, so there you go. There's your 2 drinking games if you're drinking along with us. Alrighty, let's get going. A 60-second summary. This should be pretty easy. It's a fairly short book.
What are the characters' names? I literally don't even have my copy of the book.
There's Samantha.
Samantha's the main one, and then best friend that's really all I need.
Ava.
Is Ava. Okay, great. Now I can do the 60-second summary. That's where sorry everybody. It's been like over a month since I read this book. Tell me when. Okay,
ready, set, go.
Okay, so Samantha is this girl at this fictional English writing college that has, I don't know, some really odd rules. And basically she's kind of an outsider. Her best friend's name is Ava, and Ava likes being an outsider, but Samantha does not like being an outsider. Samantha has a weird relationship with one of the teachers named the Lion, who she had like a weird thing with. Anyway, she catches the attention of this popular girl group. I don't know if they're popular, but they are a group of girls at school called the Bunnies. They all call each other Bunnies, and they're weird, man. They all have distinct personalities. They're all pretty, like, odd writers. Anyway, they invite her over to a party at one of their houses, and she gets sucked into their lifestyle where essentially they are taking bunny rabbits and killing them in order to create their ideal men. And then these men kind of worship them, but they're not whole people because they have the brains of bunny rabbits. And in the end, Samantha almost loses Ava, her best friend. Actually, she does. Ava ends up killing herself. And what she learns is she should just be happy with who she is. And she didn't have to join a group or a cult to figure that out. But yeah, that's really all that happens in this book. There's some other side characters, but they're not really that important.
That is not how I read the ending.
Okay. How did you read the ending?
No.
Let's talk about it. We'll talk about it in a minute.
We'll talk about it in a minute because that's so interesting. That's not how I read the ending. Okay. Well, let's get into some quick
Frankly,
facts,
I just need to preface this by saying, frankly, I think I rushed through the ending so hard and fast that I don't even know that I fully remember what happens. You might have to just tell me what happens in the ending again, and then we can talk about it.
I don't know. I'm we may have to look this up in a side episode because I'm mine is so different that I'm did I read it differently? Oh my god. Okay, anyways, we'll get into that in a second. So some quick facts. This book was published in 2019. It has a 3.5 out of 5 on Goodreads, a 3.67 out of 5 on the Storygraph. I feel like a lot of these types of books that I have found, a lot of the Tessa Moshfeghs, a lot of the Mona Awads, they receive kind of that 3.5 because people either fuck with them or they do not like them. And so they kind of hit that middle range there. And then Bunny was her second book, was Mona Awad's second book. And this book was named Best Book of 2019 by Time, Vogue, Electric Literature, and the New York Public Library. The film rights were optioned by the Bad Robot Productions. They're kind of known for those horror, mind-bending type productions like 10 Cloverfield Lane, Westworld.
So it's being made?
The production rights were picked up, so I don't know when it's being made or what the timeline is there, but I could see it being really good.
Yeah, I could see how it would make a good movie, actually.
Yeah, we'll get into that because that's one of the points of discussion I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
But so a little bit about Mona. She's from Canada. She's known for her darkly comedic fiction books. Her father is Egyptian Muslim, while her mother is French Canadian. She has a PhD, and then her debut novel, 13 Ways of Looking at a Fat Girl, won the Amazon Best First Novel Award Prize, the Colorado Book Award Prize, and was shortlisted for the Giller Prize and an Arab American Book Award. So it received a lot of praise. People, I think, seem to really like her stuff. If it hits with you, I think you kind of are a fan. But she very much is into this very dark, weird type book.
Interesting. Okay.
And then her other book, Rouge, just recently came out, is one of her newest books, and Rebecca and I did review that one. So if you want to go listen to that, that was a chaotic read. And we also did that one in person, which was kind of fun. But our mics broke, so the audio is kind of iffy.
Okay, so evidently every Mona Awad recording is just cursed.
Maybe it's her. She's don't talk about my books.
She's I'm actually too intelligent for you. Please don't talk about my books.
Yeah, we just don't get it.
Yeah, fair.
Okay. Ella, would you or would you not recommend this book?
Okay. Here's the thing.
Complicated.
It is complicated because I don't think it's for me, but I think maybe my problem is just in looking at reviews of this book that maybe I was taking it at face value too much and not kind of acknowledging that there is, I don't know, some nuance to the perspective of the character that the first person perspective of the main character. I just don't like it. I don't know what it is. I just didn't like the book. I didn't like the I just thought she was a really boring person. As a main character, I just didn't care about living in her head. And it just felt very typical to me, girl is an outsider at school and she wants to feel included by a group, and then she learns the lesson that, you know, being an outsider is sometimes beneficial. I don't know, which evidently maybe I learned the exact wrong thing from this book, as you'll tell me in the end, but I just was like, I don't know. And then like it just felt lazy to me when Ava died, because it just felt like something big needed to happen to like wake her up, and I just didn't like it. But I do get how it could be considered good. Like, I get how everything represents something in this book. Like, I do get that. But when the twist turned out to be that we were taking bunny rabbits and turning them into men, I shut down. I just shut down. Even in the fantastical realm of my brain, I was like, this is dumb. And I just don't think that the book could win me back after that. Particularly when there's the whole thing where like Samantha actually turns a stag into a boy instead of a bunny. And then he turns out to be like Tumblr incarnated. And it's just like, so absurd to me, where he's like on the bus like with his headphones and like a neck tattoo, just being like angsty, and I was just like, nah, pass. So I think maybe other people would get more out of this book than I did. So in a way I would say read it. Maybe you will like it, but for me, no.
Yeah, I said yes. I really did enjoy this book. I was telling Ella before the recording, I was talking about it with another book club, and again, people were split right down the middle. Like, there was a gal who picked it up, didn't even want to finish it, and then there was a gal that was like, I absolutely love this book. I devoured it. And I think I really enjoyed it because I think the almost like satirical nature of it, of like talking about like how absurd these like cliques can be, how absurd like these like English classes can be, because like I've been in like a few poetry writing classes, I've been in a few creative writing classes, and like there is kind of that sense of like people take themselves so seriously about some of this stuff, and so I think like that satirical nature was interesting and kind of like weird, and I liked it. I love the twist of turning bunnies into men. I think it's weird and kind of amazing, and I love that they're like super fucked up because it's like they just keep trying and then killing them and then trying and killing them, and I'm just like, this is absurd. But I think the absurdity of it like caught my attention. The ending, I do really want to get into this, so just give it a second, but I think was very interesting and shocked me, jaw on the floor. The writing, this is what I loved about Rouge, and she does it here in this book too. Her writing is so good in the sense of when Samantha is outside of the group, all of the bunnies are named Bunny. And like, she doesn't care. When she gets into the magic world and she's like in the bunnies, all of the bunnies are named by their name. And like, something like is so interesting. So you're almost like with Samantha, as she's starting to call the bunnies like Bunny, you're like, oh, she's getting out of it. And then as soon as she's like Caroline, you're like, oh, she's back into it. She did the same thing with Rouge and mixing up words and stuff like that. And so like the writing style is just very interesting and very creative, but it is weird. And so like, take that with a grain of salt. Like, would I recommend it to everyone I know? No. But there's a select few that I'm like, I think you would enjoy this. It's weird, but I think you would enjoy it.
Yeah, I can see that. I feel like my thing is, to me, it came off like she thought she was a smarter, like she thought she was being more clever in her analysis of academia, and it felt like she was very self-conscious of being like, look how brilliant I am at criticizing this absurd reality we all live in when we are in this. And I was just like, yeah, like, cool. It's like, oh, you're so smart. But she is, I will say, a really gripping writer. Like, I read this book really fast.
Yeah, she's very smart about the way she writes, I should say, but not like topic wise, because like I agree, it gets a little like
heady,
a little much.
Yeah.
Same with it gets a little much, but yeah, she's just like, it's very conscious that like, this is what I want to do and this is what I'm gonna do. I don't care what the fuck you think, but like, this is what I'm gonna do with it. So what sparkled? This is how I
But yeah, give me the ending in your eyes. Also, remind me how it ended.
I will. Okay, so Samantha comes off of this bender that she's been on with the bunnies
Right.
of making bunny men, killing bunny men. And when she gets to the house, or when she gets to Ava's apartment, Ava's there, and she realizes Ava's now in a new relationship with the man that she has created.
Yeah, that Samantha created, yeah.
Yes, that Samantha has created out of the stag, which she learns later. But he is kind of like fucking with all the other girls. And so Samantha's brought into like the cave with all of the other bunnies. And she shows up and the bunnies are like messed up. So like one has scars all over her body of words that she's written. One has like gotten even darker, like the dark one got even darker. And then in like the sense of how she's like looking at the world.
Right, she just got like miserable.
Miserable, yeah. And they're no longer together, and so like she now like after looking at the stag's phone, Samantha realizes that he's been like the man that has been messing with all of them.
Yeah.
But each of them call him by a different name. Each of them know him as a different person. And so then she kind of confronts him, and that's I don't know, something happens.
And she like tells Ava who he is.
She tells Ava about it, and she doesn't really believe her. And then Samantha leaves, and when she comes back, this is how I read it.
Okay.
She realized, like, she finds a dead swan on the ground. And she realizes that the stag had killed Ava. And Ava was actually the swan she had seen in the park after her mom, I think, had died, or if
okay.
And she had created Ava out of this swan for herself. And so then when the stag kills her, it like kills all sense of her reality and who
wow,
she
I
thinks
missed
is,
that.
like, real. But again, anyone else has read this, let me know if I'm completely
No,
off.
you're definitely right. You are 100% right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, here's the thing. Mental health wise, Samantha is not crushing it. Like, she is unwell. And because of that, she makes decisions that are poor. That in itself is interesting. So it's like, if you're gonna, I don't mind that. Like, that is fascinating to me. I think it was just like too many levels of complexity. Like, why was the lion in it at all? Like, he was just so unnecessary. It was just like, we never found out what happened. I guess we didn't really need to, because it was implied that there was like some kind of like sexual abuse, but like, that was confusing to me. And then the teacher aspect, where it was like she had these teachers that like kind of were looking out for her, but were also kind of against her. It was just like it was too much. And then the bunnies weren't even like fun villains. Sorry, I know we're supposed to be in What Sparkled, and we're in the opposite of What Sparkled. I can talk about What Sparkled after this, but I was just like, at least like if we're gonna make them like bunny killer, men killer, like cuckoo pants people, like, I don't know, make them a little more fun. But they were all just like sad and like depressed, and like everybody was just so sad in this book. I just didn't enjoy anybody in this book.
I guess I read the bunnies as more because I really liked them. I thought they were fascinating
This
creatures.
is such a classic episode. I'm obsessed with how much we disagree on this.
I know. Oh my god. I love getting back to our roots.
I know, exactly.
I just think like I got the vibe of like watching Pearl, where she's standing at the end and she's just smiling after killing her entire family. And like that's the vibe I got with the bunnies, where they're just like, oh my god, after they've just killed 15 creatures that they've like created. And it's kind of like this front that they're all putting on and being like, bunny. And then it's like one of them, like the first scene of them like creating the men, and then having the like the one who wears the cat ears have to go kill the guy because the other ones can't do it. Like, there's just something so weird and kind of funny about that whole scene of, like, the one girl's like, here, I'll do it. And then she comes out just covered in blood, and she's like, I couldn't do it. And then the other one's like, hold on. And just,
Yeah.
after wearing, like, cupcake dresses and, like, sweaters, I just think it's, like, so comical that it's weird and funny. But I do, like, agreed on the lion aspect. I do not understand why he was in it at all.
You know, this book to me feels like the definition of, like, that t-shirt that they used to sell at Hot Topic, Normal People Scare Me. You know, where it, like, really thinks that it's making, like, a clever statement, but it's actually just, like, I don't know, like, speaking to a sense of, like, quirkiness, of, like, dark quirkiness that, like, people think makes them unique, but is actually shared by, like, so many people. And I think that was my main beef with it, was I was just like, yeah, we get it, Mona. Like, oh my God. It's like the Jughead monologue, like, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. It's so that. Actually, wow, the way that Riverdale is gonna be my pairing is so crazy. Like, I didn't even think about that until this moment.
That's actually a very good pairing.
But yeah, thank you. But yeah, that to me was it. It was giving Hot Topic, it was giving Tumblr, it was giving like horror in like a very uniquely like 2010s sense of like hot girl with big boobs kills somebody energy.
Yeah.
And that for me was a turn off, but I can see how it would be a turn on.
No, it's so fair, though. One of the conversation pieces that we were talking about in this other book club was she's writing books to just be, like, a conversation piece.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like, she's writing it to be put on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
She's writing it to be made into a movie. And I think, like, I think it would translate really well to a movie sense, where you kind of get that, like, you can play a little bit more with the bunnies, with, like, overdressing them, making them, like, very cinematic looking, and making, like, the whole unraveling of Samantha be, like, very visual. Which I think you get. I agree with, like, what you were saying at the beginning. It gets thick toward the end. Like, you don't know where you are in relation to, like, time, space.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like, it got thick. Again, I can't really remember the ending because it was like...
It was like, what are we doing? We're in a cave. All of a sudden, but we're also in a hallway, but we're also in an alley. It was like we're in every dark space at once.
And we're flashing back to the lion, but not giving any details about it.
Yeah, it's just like, what?
Yeah. So I agree. That was one of the things that I, like, that fell flat. I was like, it was so chaotic. I just lost the thread of the plot all completely at points.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, we talked a lot about what fell flat first, actually. So, I'm sorry. Is there anything else that fell flat for you? And then we can talk about what sparkled now.
Yeah, I think going along with the ending, of being super thick, I wished there was more, because I liked the bunny characters, but I wanted to see them, like, unravel even more. Like, I wanted to be there, like, as they were unraveling, because, like, you only get them when they show up to the cave and they're completely, like disheveled, chaotic. And so I'm like, I wish we kind of had more of the, like, downfall of them. And, like, what the boy was actually doing to them. Because I thought that, like, I just wanted more time with them. Because I agree. Like, Samantha, she gets, like, very, like, sad girl toward the end. And I wish, like, I'm kind of like, yeah, let's just, like, leave her. I want more of this chaotic energy that's happening over here with all these other girls that are reciting poetry and creating men and killing men at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think, like, if we got more of them toward the end and then kind of flashed into, like, Samantha, I think it would have been better.
And it's not to diminish, because, like, it's, like, clearly, like, Samantha is written as a character who is struggling with her mental health. And it's not to diminish, like, characters that are unreliable narrators and struggling with their mental health. If anything, my argument is just that, like, if that's going to be your focus, which is, like, to give us the inner workings of this person who is, like, struggling, then make that more of an interesting point, because at a certain level, like, Samantha just got tedious because she was just exhibiting this behavior, but there was like, and we would get glimpses into like what exacerbated the behavior, but like by like her mother dying or like Ava leaving or like these things, but there was never, I don't know, it's like we never got to the root of anything. It just felt like she was very surface. And I felt that, like, as a character, if you're going to make her the focal point, like, respect her more, almost. Like, give us more of her history. Give us more of a reason to care about her, instead of just, like, giving us these establishing facts and then just, like, moving on, because you have, like, a more glitzy thing to get to, which is the bunnies and all of them. And also, in that same regard, it's like, give us more of the bunnies. Like, give us more of the reason of, like, why each bunny is the way that they are. What's with the dresses? What's with the, you know, like, hair being a certain way? What's with, like, why are all these girls the way that they are? And like, what makes them tick? It makes sense that her books would be made into, their rights would be bought to be made into TV or film, because, yeah, when you give really clear visuals, obviously then that's a great thing to go off of, to be then made subsequently into like a visual medium. But as a book, just giving us what a person looks like isn't enough to make me care about them. And it's certainly not enough to make me then like understand why they would be attracted to this like dark magic that requires murdering people that you create. Because that's a pretty fucked up thing to do. And I don't feel like I understood why any of them felt like they had motive to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And you don't really see the
origins of that either. Like, how did that even come about?
You don't see the origins. Yeah, no, that's also interesting. Like, which I don't really care, like, in the sense of this book, but I do think, like, getting more of the bunnies. I want more of them. Not more bunnies, but more of
like, the girls that call themselves
the
bunnies.
Background.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I thought they were the most interesting. And I do think, like, you don't even get the repercussions, really. Like, she kind of talked about them starting to weigh on them, about them killing a bunch of people. But, like, I feel like that scene of Samantha coming to Ava's house, and then the stag boy, like, cooking her dinner, and cooks rabbit, and it's just going to town on this rabbit. And it's like that, and having, like, being inside Samantha's head as she's, like, watching him just devour this thing, like, that is, like, what I wanted more of from Samantha's POV, of, like, oh my god, and, like, her going in and out of consciousness, of, like, flashing back to some things. Like, that's, I don't know, like, that is what I wanted more of, is, like, the feeling behind the killing, and and, like, what stuck with them.
Yeah.
You don't really get that. Because I'm like, that can't be sustainable.
No. It can't.
And it isn't.
And it's not sustainable. But, like, also, like, he as a character, too, was kind of baffling to me, because I was just like, is he meant to be... I just didn't understand what he was supposed to represent.
I think he was kind of supposed to be the male representation of Samantha, like, reincarnated.
Right. But even still, it's like, okay, so then he represents, like, the things that you wish you were strong enough to do, I guess, in that, like, he's, like, torturing the bunnies, and he's, like, I don't know, he's his own person. It just, to me, it was, like, it was really reaching with him. Like, I just didn't... It was almost like, again, there was just so much imagery and metaphor being thrown at me that I was just like, okay, where are we going?
I guess I kind of viewed him as, he is the representation of how the bunnies view her.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or how I don't know. But yeah, I got lost in the sauce with that again. He came in too late in the book, and I was too deep in it.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, oh, okay, thank God we're meeting a new character now, 120 pages in. Anyway, yeah. I'm sorry, Mona. Maybe it's just over my head.
I don't know. It's an acquired taste. I was gonna say, yeah,
Like
well,
rabbit.
we could get
Tee. Okay, we can talk about what we liked now. Sorry.
Well, I already talked about what I liked.
Okay. I'll give you one thing that I liked.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
I gotta think long and hard about this. I did like the concept. I did like how much the bunnies were being made fun of. I do like the idea of like trivializing the exclusivity that gets put on a pedestal, particularly when you are younger and you're in a school environment, and the vulnerability of like basically everybody has to go through that, particularly like girls, like, am I going to be part of the herd or am I going to strike out on my own? And that's a decision that everybody has to make. And I do think that using this extreme to look at that experience and having it kind of like, it almost gives it the weight of like what it actually feels like to be that age and have to make that decision. So I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
That's my one positive. You're like, okay. You're like, cool, great. Ella, thank you.
No, I do think, yeah, I think it's a very universal feeling of seeing a group of gals and being like, yeah, like wanting to fit in, but also being like, well, I don't really want to fit in with them because they're silly and like they're almost like too perfect. And like there's got to be something hiding.
Yeah.
Hiding behind those.
There's got to be something else.
Yeah.
And sometimes and it is cool to be like, well, what if there was something else and that something else was like insanely fucked up?
Yeah. It is kind of like, what could it be? Oh, they're creating men, like incomplete.
They're creating incomplete men.
That you have to put gloves on because their hands are so...
Yeah, screwed up.
Alrighty.
Gross. Okay.
Alrighty. Final ratings.
Take it away.
Alrighty. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I really did enjoy it. I think the originality of it was very good. I think it was weird. It was freaky. It was like weird and freaky in all the best ways for me. I think it was like super satirical, super dark, super funny. Like it hit hard for me. I was like laughing and I was like, this is chaotic. But I thought it was very funny. The characters were super distinct, except for the lion and the teacher. I hated both of them. I hated all the staff.
Yeah, the staff sucked.
Get out of here. But I think like the twists and turns were fun. I do think it got very lost at the end. As you can tell, we read the ending completely different, and like it just got very thick and like too thick for how long it was. But I was gonna say, I think also coming off of reading Rouge first, this one made me kind of like see Mona's full potential of like, this is what she can do. Like with Rouge, again, the writing is so interesting to me. Like she writes in such a very calculated way that I don't think I see a lot of writers doing, of like having the name conventions be like super thought out in where they're placed in the books and how she's referring to the bunnies. And then with Rouge, she talks it like she uses language to show the downfall of the main character in that one. But with Rouge, she goes on this weird tangent with frickin' Tom Cruise. And I think with Bunny, she also goes on some weird tangents. And so, like, it's very Mona. She keeps it
real
steady throughout her writing. And it's very cinematic, which I do like. But I think there are, like, a few things that just, like, I can't be like, yeah. But I really did enjoy it. Like, I really thought it was a good book, and I enjoyed my time reading it. So I'll give it a 4.
Okay.
Take it away.
No. This is interesting. It's like the one book that we've read that we've disagreed on that I'm like, I can see your side.
Honestly, that's how I felt reading My Year of Rest and Relaxation with Sierra. I hated it to my core, and then we talked about it, and then I was like, I can see I can see why people like it now.
I can see. I'll give it a 3. I did not detest this book in the way that I've detested some of the other books. I'm looking at you, Interestings. I'm looking at you, Atlas 6.
Oh, God.
It's not the worst
Never
Dark
again.
Academia we've ever read on this podcast, let me assure you. But I think it just, for me, it got muddled. It was a little too self-aware in its, like, critiques. It just felt like it was in on its own joke too much, and that was kind of driving me crazy. As I said, very normal people scare me energy. It felt like it should have come out, like, when the first seasons of American Horror Story were coming out, and that shirt was being sold at Hot Topic. Like, that, it really feels like if it had come out then, there would have been, like, the wave of 13-year-old girls just absolutely lapping this up with a spoon. I think it got muddled. I think that the characters were not given enough emotional backstory to match their visuals and to match their just, like, personalities, and so I just couldn't get invested. Also, there were just a lot of characters. And I think it was kind of a case of sacrificing investment in characters for the sake of adding more characters. And I just needed more to latch on to if I was going to care. And I also found the bunny thing absolutely absurd. But for some people, that's the right level of absurd. So I need to let that lie.
I love it. I love that you mentioned early American Horror Story, because that's definitely one of my pairings.
Oh, excellent. I'm so glad.
That's so funny. Okay, well, let's get into pairings.
Let's do it.
So, yes, Ella and I will pick TV shows, movies, other books, and drinks that might pair well with today's book. This was tough because I feel like I've picked a lot of the same ones I've used in the past, but I can't change. So anyway.
I know. But you know what? I tested myself on this, and I was like, I want to do new ones because I feel like it's really easy to do some of the stuff we've done on this. So I was like, I'm gonna do a new roster.
Ah, nice. Well, I can't wait. So let's do drinks first. I did a gin and... So this is a very specific drink that I've had in the past, but it's a gin and tonic with peppercorn.
Ooh, fun.
It is so good, but it's very bitter, and it, like, you can't drink it very fast, and it kind of reminded me of, like, the drink that they hand her, where she, like, drinks it, and she's like, what the fuck is this? But then as time goes on, you drink more of them, they become easier to drink, and it's got kind of, like, this grayish color, so, like, I feel like it's fitting for this.
Okay, very cool. I did a jackknife, which is Jack Daniels and Bailey's. And I did it because I was like, I need something that's, like, thick and sweet and, like, hard to get through, but also gets you absolutely shit-faced, because that's exactly what this book feels like. And then I was reading something in the New York Times this week, and somebody was like, yeah, I love jackknife cocktails. And I was like, oh, that's literally exactly the cocktail for this book. Also, it's, like, kind of a violent name. And I was like, it really is exactly to me what this book feels like. It's just like, oh, I feel awful and I'm so loaded.
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you.
That's a very good one. TV show. So we both alluded to it, but I did American Horror Story Coven.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's so giving that. Kyle. Wow.
Yep. So it's been a while since I've watched this particular season, but pretty much, yeah, just a bunch of women getting together, doing witchcraft, and absolutely letting hell loose in all of the best ways. And it's chaotic, and it's a little unnerving, a little bit more horror if you're looking for, like, this to be, like, a little bit scarier than American Horror Story, but I do think, like, there's still kind of that chaotic, like, energy of, like, what the fuck do we do?
God, that's so true, though. It's like the main character is, like, an outsider who goes into this house. It's like a group of, like, mean witches, and she, like, has to, like, figure out how to be a part of it. And also, Emma Roberts' character is so giving, like, Bunny. And,
right?
yeah, they literally have to make a man. they like kill a guy and then recreate him and Frankenstein him back together, and like he like is obsessed with them and like barely talks. So that's it's actually maybe Bunny. What came first, Bunny or AHS Coven?
I think AHS Coven, so Mona.
Mona. Yeah, I am not doing Riverdale because I haven't seen all of Riverdale, but that is like there is something.
It's so good though.
So yeah, Riverdale is like so that like thinks that it's better than it is, like has like a weird amount of magic in it, and like it's just like about like a group of people who think that they don't fit into society. But also,
and it gets more chaotic as the seasons go on, and that's this book. Also, side note, one of the bunnies, I forget which one she was, but she has red hair and she wears cat ears.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly who I imagined was the red-haired gal from Riverdale.
Oh my god, yeah, literally. Riverdale is like the correct show to pair with this, but I will say also the other show that I thought of was like the first season or the first 2 seasons of Skins, where it's just like a bunch of like really chaotic teenagers who are like way more fucked up than you think that they even could be, and just like them like relying on each other to like try to get through like messed up times. But yeah. So Riverdale or Skins.
Honestly, it got kind of the same feeling of reading Bunny as I did watching Skins.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like this like weird like I feel like I need to take a shower. Like
Yes.
Yeah. And Samantha was giving very Effie to me. So that's why I was like, yeah, it's Skins.
Okay. Oh, I love it. Okay, book. I originally did Other People's Clothes. Again, very like Berlin, dark, gross, a little bit playing on the Amanda. Is it Amanda Knox, the European, like the American murderer?
Yes, yeah. That's a great. Amanda Knox is the European American murderer.
Yes, thank you. But yes, they get obsessed with the Amanda Knox murders. And so it's very like early 2000s, like Berlin, dark, with a very weird twist at the end. So like I feel like if you kind of like liked the vibe of Bunny, Other People's Clothes is a good one. And then going off of the culty school of it all, The Maidens was another book. Did we read it?
Yeah, we read it. I almost said The Maidens, and then I was like, I got another one.
Okay. Yeah.
It's another book we've read. We both chose books we've read.
Yes. Because I don't know. I just think like Maidens, again, I feel like also had a lot of plot holes, but was very, if you like the culty, dark academia, Maidens.
I liked The Maidens, though.
Yeah, I think you liked it more than I did.
Yeah, that was one that actually was an opposite day one in which Ella rarely liked something more than Jenna.
It was chaos.
I chose the Atlas 6, one of the worst books I've ever read in my life, but I just couldn't come up with something that made me feel as icky, and I was like, oh, I know what made me feel as gross.
No.
The Atlas 6, if you want to listen to both of us absolutely going to town on a book, look no further than that book.
We got as deep as the illustrations.
Yeah, we got as deep as the illustrations in that book. And that was about all we needed to determine it to be one of the worst books either of us had ever read. But it's if you want dark academia, it's there for you.
If you want dark academia and a threesome that happens for no apparent reason.
Yeah. Look no further.
Look no further. Well, movie. So this was hard because I was like, the first thing that pops into my head is Suspiria.
That's a good one though.
But it like fits with the outsider coming in, the coven, the witchiness, the like body horror kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But the other one I recently just watched on the plane, and it kind of fits in a weird way, which is The Watchers.
Oh, I don't know it.
It is with
Dakota Fanning?
Fanning.
Okay.
Yeah. She was the only saving grace in that movie.
I did not hear great things, actually.
It was pretty bad. But the main storyline, she gets lost in the woods. She's in this house with a window, and it like turns into a mirror at night. And there's things called the Watchers, and they come watch these people. And anyways, you can't go out at night; they'll kill you. Whatever. You find out later. Again, spoiler alert. I really don't think you want to watch this movie, but spoiler alert if you do. You find out at the end that the Watchers are actually fairies, or like shapeshifters, changelings. And so what they're doing is they're studying them so that they can take over their bodies and become like they can kill the original and become the actual person and like live outside of the forest or whatever.
Wow, what a boring plot twist.
It was so like, the more like think about it, like the worse that this movie was. Like besides the acting, like the actual plot line was wild. So but that's one where like, again, the ending just got so convoluted and so weird and like so predictable. But it kind of gave a similar like mythical playing on the like resurrection kind of like imitation of life. So and a little bit of body horror as well. So if you're looking for that,
there you go.
Don't watch it.
Well, I went, what is a classic satire? Girl who doesn't fit in gets into a group she fits into. Look no further, folks, than Mean Girls. Okay? There's nothing you need to do. Yeah, Regina George is the ultimate bunny. I mean, literally, like, verbatim, you know, take a group of mean girls, it's in the title, who are obsessed with each other and do everything with each other and follow one particular ringleader, and a girl who is an outsider who they decide to make one of their own, and then in the end, she gets cast out again and it has a way more positive ending, this one, but, and there's a lot less fantasy. But biting satire of girl groups at school. I just went classic.
I love it. That's a good one.
Yeah. It's so good.
Well, that's it for Bunny.
Good night. Good night to Bunny. I'm so happy to put this aside.
It's so funny because I really thought you would like it. I don't know. I just thought it was going to be like one of the rarities that
one of the rarities that Ella likes.
Yeah, that like doesn't feel like an Ella book, but might strike. But alas
no. Alas no, but that's okay.
Well, up next we have Never Let Me Go.
Girl.
Right? By
Kazuo, right?
Kazuo
Ishiguro.
Yeah, Ishiguro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or Kazuo. I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry.
I apologize. Yeah, I'm butchering it. But this one has been on both Ella and I's TBRs for a while, and we found out that it was on both of our TBRs. So we thought, why not?
Why not read it?
Go for it. So here's the short summary. As children, Kathy, Ruth, and Tommy were students at another dark academia.
I know.
Sorry.
Back to back.
At Hailsham, an exclusive boarding school secluded in the English countryside. It was a place of mercurial cliques. Sorry, I'm like, how are we? We're back. In mysterious rules where teachers are constantly reminding the charges of how special they were. Now, years later, Kathy is a young woman. Ruth and Tommy have re-entered her life, and for the first time, she's beginning to look back at their shared past and understand just what makes them special and how that gift will shape the rest of their time together.
Yeah, well, but here's the thing. This one won a Nobel Prize. So I have a feeling that this one, unlike the other Dark Academia books, we're always chasing good Dark Academia on this podcast for some reason. We're really returning to that genre frequently, which is not something that I think you would clock for either of us, but I think both of us just so badly want to read one good Dark Academia book.
We want it. Like, we want the Donna Tartt secret history.
Yeah.
We want it again.
So I have a lot of faith that this one will give us what we desire.
Yeah. I do too. I again, I've been wanting to read this for so long.
Me
So I'm
too.
like really hoping it lives up to like the thing I've built up in my head.
Me
Love it.
too, dude. We got this. It's gonna be good. I can feel it.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And it'll be great.
And then guys, we're gonna put Dark Academia to bed for a long time.
We're gonna end on that.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Exactly.
Well, Ella, thank you for another fun recording.
Yes.
Cursed recording.
The next one will be a lot easier. I have a feeling.
Yes. And so until then.
Cheers. Cheers.
Clink.
Clink. Bye.
Bye. Well, that's our show. I hope you enjoyed listening. If you liked it, please go give it 5 stars on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to this right now. And if you want more book-related content, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at RW Reads Podcast. That's at RWREADSPODCAST on Instagram and TikTok. This podcast was produced by JB Media and edited by Jenna Weston. We will see you in the next episode. Happy reading!